A woman lived near that palm tree with her husband and a child. Her husband was a very cunning and lazy person, and he had a habit of telling lies on every matter. Because of this, the woman used to be very upset with her husband. After walking a long distance, when Mohan reached near the palm tree, the woman came out of the house. While entering the courtyard of the house, Mohan stumbled and fell, and one of his hands hit the woman's cheek like a slap. The woman felt that the wrestler must have known her husband. Rubbing her cheek with one hand, the woman asked the wrestler to sit in the guest room and started serving him refreshments. Meanwhile, the woman's husband reached there. Seeing his wife with a stranger, he angrily pointed towards Mohan and asked his wife who this man was. The woman said fearfully that she thought he was familiar, so she let him in. The man became even more angry after listening to his wife and pounced on Mohan to fight. To stop the man, Mohan put his iron rod on his head, killing the man on the spot. Seeing all this scene, his wife started crying. Seeing the atmosphere, the wrestler started leaving from there. Then the woman stopped Mohan and said that there was no one to earn in the house except her husband, and after his death, now you will have to live with us. After this, Mohan started living with that woman in the same house. Mohan did not know anything other than drinking buffalo's milk. In such a situation, after a few days, when the ration of the house started running out, the woman told him that he should go out and earn something or go to the king and ask for land for farming so that he can do farming and feed himself. After listening to the woman, the wrestler took his iron rod and went towards the palace. On reaching the palace, all the gatekeepers and soldiers started trembling with fear seeing Mohan's body, and immediately informed the king that some strong man was moving towards the palace with an iron rod in his hand. On getting the information, the king immediately called his scribe and asked him to immediately go to the wrestler and ask the reason for his arrival. The wrestler tells the scribe his request for land for cultivation. On reaching the king with the message, the king orders the wrestler to give a lot of land. The scribe is very shrewd, so he gives Mohan a small piece of barren land near the cemetery, keeping most of the land given to the wrestler by the king for himself, which the wrestler happily returns. There is a peepal tree in the middle of that barren land, on which ghosts reside. When the wrestler starts plowing the land to make it suitable for growing crops, he starts having trouble plowing the field because of the tree. Mohan is determined to uproot the tree and strikes it with his iron rod, causing around 150 ghosts to fall down from the tree and angrily rush towards the wrestler to fight. The wrestler releases the sixes of all the ghosts with his rod. Knowing that it is impossible to win over the wrestler, the ghost started requesting Mohan not to cut the tree. The ghost said, "This is our house. We have been living here for many years. Don't destroy our house." Instead, the ghosts offered to work in the fields and deliver the produce to Mohan's house. Mohan feels sorry for the ghosts and accepts their offer and goes home. After this, the ghost started delivering every crop to the wrestler's house from time to time. Once the master of those ghosts comes to meet them. Seeing all the ghosts thin and weak, he asks the reason for their plight. After hearing the full story from the ghosts, the guru decides to teach a lesson to the wrestler and goes towards his house. The master of the ghosts plans to attack the wrestler by assuming the form of a cat. In those days, every day a cat used to enter the kitchen and drink all the milk in the wrestler's house, due to which he was very upset. That day the wrestler is also waiting for the cat hiding behind the door to teach the cat a lesson. As soon as the master of the ghosts enters the room in the form of a cat, the wrestler attacks him. Due to the attack of the wrestler, many bones of the master of ghosts are broken and he comes in his real form and starts requesting to spare his life. Mohan asks the master of the ghosts to choose the punishment for himself if he is released. In such a situation, the master of the ghosts said that if he was spared, he would double the amount of ration. After considering this thing of the master of ghosts for some time, the wrestler leaves him. After leaving the house of the wrestler, the master of the ghosts goes directly to his disciples. When the disciples ask, he tells them the whole story and says that from now on the amount of ration sent to the wrestler's house will have to be doubled.